Christian leaders. This is Pastor John Richards, and welcome to the Christian Leaders Book Club.
Hey, Christian leaders. I'm Pastor Christopher J. Harris, and I'm your co-host, Christian Leaders Book Club.
Yo, what's up, everybody?
Good afternoon.
Let's go.
East Coast
Man,
time.
listen.
Morning Central Time.
Listen, we had to make an adjustment last week because Pastor John was changing the world one child, one tour at a time.
As y'all can see, I was outside because I'm real red right now. I was all over the South, brother. And don't
open yourself up to those kinds of jokes.
Hey, hold on, man. Don't do that, man. Don't do that, man. You know what I'm saying? The light-skinned version of us can get a little bit tan too. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like we're the intellectual kid in play right now.
All I'm missing is the high top, man, which I used to have.
That's all you're missing is a high top fade, brother.
That used to be my ministry.
Yeah. Me too. I used to have a Gumby. How about that?
Oh boy, that took us back.
Yeah, man. Y'all, we're excited to be with you again. In fact, y'all get a double dose for the month of July because we are jumping into 2 books for this month. In fact, last week would have been our book for June. Really what we did was we recognized that we gave you a book that's 300 plus pages, so we know y'all needed an extra few days.
One more week. One more week. Gave y'all an extra week.
Yeah, we gave y'all an extra week to read this book. And so, man, what a journey this year has been already. And we're thankful for what God has been doing. Pastor John, man, kind of bring everybody up to speed with the books that we've done so far.
Yeah, so we started out with the let them theory, which was a let down theory. We did not necessarily like that book, brother. And I think that was both of our bestseller. We thought it was going to be cool, but no, that wasn't it. Sorry. So that was our start. And then we had something in February, right?
February was amazing. Marriage Be Hard by the Fredericks, the On Stages, Kev On Stage and his wife, Miss Kev On Stage.
Top book of the year so far, huh?
Top book of the year so far, man. That book was amazing. It was relevant. It was applicable. It was intelligent. It was, and the thing I loved about it is there are places that they offered their opinion and made room for disagreement. And there was a way for us to do that without people losing their salvation. Right. So that was fun. That book was fun. Then we moved to the next month. One of your favorite authors.
N.T. Wright, Simply Jesus. And
yes,
he gave us Simply Jesus, but it wasn't too simple. It was a little bit theological and complex. I will give Reverend Dr. Christopher that. But what I won't give him is that it wasn't a good book. I like the book, but he didn't necessarily like the book. We disagreed on that one. It's okay. It's fine.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. The book stays in my library. It stays in my library, but it's not going to be one I'm going to be immediately reaching for unless when Pastor John becomes a seminary president or something, invites me to come in and do a chapel or something, then I might pull that one out and reference a quote or two from there. So that's good.
You might quote it and then be petty and be like, when we read this together, he didn't like it. I didn't like it, but he did.
Let me tell y'all about y'all's university president.
Right. I know that's coming. Any invitation, I know the petty's gonna come with it.
Oh, listen. When you love people, you can bring the petty with it.
Speaking of love, Bob
Love Does.
Love Does is our next book, right?
We
thought that there was a whole book full of anecdotes that could have been blog posts, but apparently it was very popular with a lot of people. I thought
he had a quota from the publisher.
Had a quota, and apparently he's a good storyteller. He likes telling stories, but a lot of those stories didn't connect with us. in our
At all.
cultural experience. So that was one of the things that we felt fell short with that book. What's next? We got.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how many average people are going to have diplomats running up in their house, ringing the doorbell, talking about, "Can I stay overnight?"
I mean,
I just don't know.
Not me. Not me.
Yeah. We then dealt with ego is the enemy. Ego is the enemy, and that book was 150 pages too long.
Was. I know philosophers can get long, and Socrates and others were probably long-winded, but goodness gracious, Ryan Holiday, just tell us to be humble. Write one page, write a one sentence book. Be humble. Oh wait, Kendrick Lamar did that. Sorry. So yeah, I didn't necessarily like that book either, man. I think we're only 1 for 5 so far.
1 for 5 so far. 1 for 5 so far. So here we are now picking up this book titled Juneteenth. And interestingly enough, that we are discussing this book on the weekend of the 250th anniversary of our country.
The Lord does all things well.
He does
we couldn't meet last week, but I think it was the Lord's doing, and it may be marvelous in our eyes. And we're going to see what the Lord does with our conversation.
So 311 pages.
311.
Yeah, 50 of those pages are just references.
I mean,
just citations.
Yes.
50 pages of citations.
Just saying, I did the legwork, is what it says. I ain't mad at that.
Listen, you do not get 50 pages of citations on accident.
No,
at all.
Man. No,
at all.
Nope.
I looked back at one chapter, and he had in one chapter 89 citations. I said, "Well, this is a situation right here.
A whole situation.
It's a situation right here." So overall, man, what'd you think about the book?
Pastor Christopher, when I thought about this book and thought about our conversation, I wanted to say one thing. If I wasn't a pastor or a lawyer or any other hats that I wear, I think I would be a history teacher.
Wow.
Because I love history. Like,
wow.
I love history. My favorite class in seminary wasn't Greek, Hebrew, wasn't exegetical methods. It was history, church history.
Okay.
Yeah. So I like history, man. I'll watch a documentary over watching anything else, man. I like all the PBS Ken Burns series. So this was right up my lane, bro. What about you?
So, well, just in response to your statement, I have, I guess, a love-hate relationship with history. I know that it's necessary. I know it's important to know history. I know it's important books like this to have access to work through. I'm not sure that I've grown up with a deep love for history. I've grown to appreciate it more, right? I've grown to appreciate it more. I've grown to respect it more. And I've grown to intentionally place myself in places where I can stretch myself or challenge myself to get it more, right? To read it more often. It's not something that I immediately gravitate to, but I know that there are times that I need to. And so, books like this, even just like, it's one thing to celebrate the holiday. It's an entirely different thing when you go through a 300-page book talking about the history of it, the ups and downs of it, the military involvement of it, the, kind of placing yourself historically and what's happening in that moment. In my mind, at least from this book, gives you a greater appreciation for the holiday itself. So,
Yep. No, that makes sense. So, if you weren't a pastor, what do you think would be your other calling in life?
So, two things. I actually, man, two things I wanted to be, and I laid those Isaacs down. I wanted to be a chief of police.
Hey man, we did a whole nother session for this one. But okay, police chief.
I wanted to be a police chief, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was one of the ways for me of exercising the leadership gift that I knew I had, but also to help to be a leader of justice. And I felt like that was one of the ways that I could convey justice in everyday living, right, through vocational profession. So that, and the other one, man, I had a burning desire to be a university president at some point.
Which, maybe still
not off the table.
Still
not off the table.
Now I don't know about the police chief thing, but I know this one still might be possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that, man. I'm sorry that was a sidebar, but since I divulged mine, I wanted to hear what Pastor Christopher would have been doing.
Yeah.
So overall, the book for you was blank.
Insightful. So insightful.
Good. Yeah.
So insightful, man.
That's a great word. That word is probably the one word that I would describe it with too. Because you think Juneteenth, you think the Galveston story, you think about liberation, but you don't know the struggles that happened leading up to it. And I think the book kind of outlined the struggles of white folks in America as they process what that meant, both militarily, socially, all the things, man. It was really, really insightful.
I think one of the things that I think is important that I want to just kind of highlight to Pastor John, one of the things that I walked away from this book, and I think directly and indirectly, I think people should at least come to understand that there's a huge difference, bro, between the law and policy and experience.
Yep.
So the law changed.
Yeah,
that didn't mean reality changed.
Nope. That right there has been the story of our republic. The law changes, experiences don't.
Yeah, and I think there's enough examples in this book that then shows that reality, right? Like this is not like nobody can walk away from this book with 50 pages of citations and say, "Oh, this is indoctrination, or this is woke theology, or just whatever." Right? This is documented, verified, quantifiable history, and I think there's also some deep wounds, man, that was revealed from this.
Yeah, I think
deep wounds, bro, that was revealed from this. And if I'm honest, man, I walked through this book thinking about some people that I grew up, around that were much older, and thinking about their journey, right? I don't know if many people know this, but we need to look at the percentage. I don't know what it is, but the vast majority of people of color in America live in the South. They live in the South, right? Southeastern part of the United States, basically from Virginia down all the way over to Texas. And so a book like this, man, if I had my, what's the DNA companies like
Ancestry,
23andMe. Where I'm going with this is, and even for you, it's probably not too far of a stretch of imagination. One of your direct ancestors could be quoted in this book, or could be referenced or a footnote in this book.
You're right. Yeah. Yep. That's sobering and honest and truthful. And in addition to being insightful, it definitely is something that's like, man, that opens up some traumatic conversations that have happened in our country.
Sir.
But I think it's good, man. Good to be able to get this, because you won't get this in a regular classroom, even though the documents are there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You won't get that.
So Pastor John, really fast, I'm going to say this, and then we can kind of get into the rubric, testing the book out. This book caused me to learn why Oklahoma and Texas are shaped the way that they're shaped.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I did not know that.
As simple as that. Like something as simple as that. But it's like, oh. And
So
why,
you knew.
and why, yes. And why Missouri is so bifurcated. Like half of them was like, oh no. The other half was like, oh yes. So
Texas was like, we are not giving up these slaves. Y'all, we will give y'all land. We will give you land
before we give up labor.
slaves.
Ooh, boy. That
Is
right
that
there.
no-
Yes, sir. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's put the rubric up, because otherwise we're going to keep talking and we're going to find ourselves like looking at our clock like, oh, well.
Yeah. So we came up with this book club rubric where we give grades based on each of the books. We wanted to make sure we gave you all something that was tangible for us to say, not anecdotal evidence of saying, oh, this book is terrible, but we put them all through this rubric to determine whether or not it's readable for our people and revisitable. I know that's not a word, but something they can revisit again. Okay. And so this is what,
come on,
visitable. Yes, sir. And so Pastor Christopher graciously came up with the rubric, and we've been using it for all our books this year. It's been good.
Yeah. So overall, I'll go first. Overall, I would give this book a 9.
Yeah, I'm at 9 too. I got a 9 too.
Okay. A 9. It's sound.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot of fluff.
Yeah.
The author follows a cogent, frame of thought, frame of reference. I think the author, justifies and brings receipts for the perspective that is being argued. And I think he just follows the history. He doesn't give a lot of conjecture or personal opinion. He just follows the history. And it's hard to argue against that, man. And I think the subtitle of the book is The Story Behind the Celebration. And that's what he does. He literally tells us the story behind the celebration.
Yeah, subtitle isn't just a subtitle. It is actually a framework. It is like the structure for him. And he went beginning to end and told that story. I like it.
Yeah. Let me say this too, Pastor John. The other thing about this book that I appreciated personally, and this is not, I know that we have lots and lots of people that watch us from different places and different contexts and different times. So this is not an indictment on any of my primary or secondary education teachers. I personally don't feel like I learned the full story of the Civil War until I got to college.
Yep.
So having a resource like this adds to that knowledge base that I don't feel like I got maybe in high school. I'll go to high school in a way that was honest, well-rounded, and relevant for us to understand during, or at least at that age point. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, totally makes sense. And that's probably 99% of everybody's experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which means if somebody doesn't go through post-secondary education, what is it that they're getting?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah. Credibility, man. Let's talk about the credibility of the author. 0 to 1, he's it's questionable. 2 to 3 is solid. 4 to 5 is highly credible. And this deals with expertise and evidence and transparency, fairness, consistency, ethics.
5.
You got a 5, bro. I'm right there with you.
I mean,
I'm
that's
right there
top score for me.
like
you want to talk about credibility? Highly credible,
bro. I can't. How in the world do I give you something less than a 5 when you got 50 pages?
Ain't no way you can. Ain't no way. Especially given what we've been reading.
All right, fun and engaging, man. What you got?
So we got 0 to 20 on this one. I give it an 18. But 18 says page turner, clear flow, hard to put down. Like again, like I said again, I'm a historian. I love history. I love the way it felt like I was reading a movie. And from beginning to end, that's just the way I felt in my mind. I was like, okay, yeah, we're starting here. And then we're moving through Lincoln's process, moving to Sherman in Georgia, my home stomping grounds, and like moving through back to Galveston. I thought it was a great flow in terms of being engaging for me. So that's why I gave it 18.
We'll disagree just a little bit. Like I don't disagree with your rationale at all. I give it a 14 simply because it was engaging. I wouldn't call it fun.
Yeah, I got you. And that goes back to what we said earlier, like in terms of our view on history and all that good stuff. So I get it.
Yeah, I think it was definitely engaging and, and that kind of thing. Like, I don't know that I would have read this as intense and as measured as I did, knowing that we were having to talk about the book. This probably would have been one where this probably would have been a book where I would have read over a year, like a period of a year, where I kind of pick it up, read it, a few 10 pages here or there, and just slowly make my way through the book. But it was good. Like, I get it. Right.
Okay.
I get it.
Okay.
Content.
Yeah.
0 to 20 as well.
I got 19. Yep. Illuminating is what got me. So rich, thoughtful, layered, and illuminating. You talked about how insightful it was. Like those quotes right there from the folks who you read about in other aspects of history, but you see the real struggle that they're having. Was helpful for me, and to be able to add some nuance to my conversations, even around Juneteenth and the Civil War.
Yeah. Bro, I gave it a 20.
Okay. Good, man. Good.
I gave it a 20. I just
right
I mean, you just can't argue with it. Like, it's like, I don't like this. Okay, what don't you like? Tell me what you don't like. Because whatever you tell me you don't like, I'm taking you to the card catalog.
Yeah. So you can go right in there and see it yourself. He did the legwork for us.
Bro, I would love to have known how long it took him to write this book.
I know, man. I know. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. We got flow.
Flow
That's,
for me
0 to 15.
I got 14. I thought it was effective. I thought it was tight. Chapter by chapter. I don't think the chapters were too long, even though it was a 300-page book. I think he separated the chapters and the flow in a way that helped me, like thinking through Louisiana, Texas, and then the freedom part of it through Texas. I thought it flowed for me pretty well.
Yeah, I gave it a 13.
Okay.
I think there were a few areas where I felt like it could have been a little bit tighter, but I get it, right? So I don't want to suggest that it was too long. I just think that there are a couple spaces where, because and we normally talk about this as we're starting the discussion. So let's pause for just a second right here in the flow for a minute. Who do you think his target audience was? I'm clear about who I think it was.
Really?
Yeah.
So I'll have to look and see the publishing date. 2021. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Folks who are thinking about Juneteenth as a holiday. That's my thought process, is that there is some conversation in 2020, 2021, especially post what's happening with George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and others, about how we celebrate Black culture, Black history. And I feel like the publishing house was like, "Hey, we need a book on Juneteenth." And
he had like. So, but what you're referencing is, like, think about if he wrote this book, he had to start writing this book at least 2-3 years in advance.
Yeah.
You don't get this many sources, bro, in 6 months. There's no way. Like, unless there's a ghostwriter that's helping you or a team of researchers, like, there's no way you get 50 pages of resources in 6 months. There's no way.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
This is before ChatGPT and Claude and Perplexity and Gemini.
But you're doing postgraduate doctoral work. You know what I mean?
Yes.
If this is your lane, I mean, you got footnotes for days.
50 pages, bro. 50 pages.
Man,
Not 50 pages.
I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is this man, he's lived the Civil War, even though he hasn't lived it.
No, this book is written to academics. This book is written to academics and historians.
Okay.
People like you who love history and could see history as an academic subject. That's who this book is written for.
I like it. I like it. I like it. I can rock with that, I suppose. But when you got somebody that's got like 8 Civil War books, my thing is this man that's his whole life.
This is true.
Entire life is the Civil War. So they were like, "Can you write a book on Juneteenth?" Oh man, I had some stuff in my dissertation I didn't get to put in there about Juneteenth. A whole book, sure.
Yeah. All right. Where did we stop at? We stopped at flow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So then we've got freshness, and this is a 0 to 15 situation. 11 to 15 is truly unique, surprising, creatively bold. 7 to 10 is some fresh angles. 4 to 6 is felt like a remix of better books, and then 0 to 3, absolutely not.
Because he addressed things that I had not seen other places for Juneteenth, I gave it a 13.
I gave it a 12.
Okay.
Yep, I gave it a 12. And then under discussion, this is a 0 to 15 as well. 11 to 15 is truly unique, surprising, creatively bold. 8 to 10 is stuck with me. I'll reference it later. 4 to 7, some memorable moments, and 0 to 3 is forgettable. I gave it an 11.
Okay. I gave it a 13.
All right.
I'm thinking about the conversations it could spark for any small groups that are discussing it, or people who may disagree that it should be a holiday, or people who agree it should be. You need to be able to talk about those things.
Yep.
So your total? What's your total? I got 91.
Bro, you should have a 92.
I should?
Yep.
I got 13, 13, 14, 19, 18, 9, 5. I wasn't no math major though, but if you say 92, it's a 92.
I got you at 92.
Okay.
Unless one of yours wrong. So you had a 9, a 5, an 18, a 19, a 15, a 13, and a 13.
Okay, yeah, I have 14 for the 15. That's what it was.
Oh, so it should be 14.
Yeah.
I got it. Okay. Yeah. So I got an 84.
84, which is still a strong book.
It's a strong book, bro.
Yeah.
It's a strong book.
I got the book club banger. And you got strong book, which is good. That's good. All right.
It's solid, man. It's solid.
Hey man, welcome back, book club.
Thank you, Jesus.
Welcome back. Yes, sir.
Elder Teachmore said, one footnote to it, many enslaved people in what was then the border states such as Kentucky or Delaware remained enslaved until the 13th Amendment was fully adopted. So even longer than Galveston. Wow. Wow.
That's good. Yeah.
That's something. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
I did not know about Kentucky and Delaware, but those are the 2 states they talked about in the book, which is great. And that helps with the understanding, because even Lincoln said, man, listen, if we don't get to Kentucky, we're in trouble, which is crazy because you don't say that ever about anything about Kentucky today in today's culture. He felt like it was such a pivot point because of the border state.
Yeah.
He was very, very interested in making sure that they got it right.
Yeah. Pastor John, um, Frederick Douglass is often quoted as saying, um, power concedes nothing without a demand.
Mm-hmm.
I thought about that while working through this book.
Mm.
To have the military
Yeah.
to enforce
Yeah.
a law that was on the books,
Mm-hmm.
what does that say about the hearts and minds of people in power?
It says a lot, man. It says a lot. And it's not so if it was a one-off thing, I'd be like, man, that's a crazy exception to the general rule. But it's the rule.
Yeah.
Douglas was onto something, right?
Yep.
I mean, think about Brown versus Board. They had to come back and say, we need to do this with all deliberate speed. Let's send in the federales to walk black kids to school.
Yeah. Here's another thing that I thought about while working through this. This holiday would be buried if it was up to our nation's historians.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Absolutely, it would, man. It absolutely would. I think the thing is, we got to always tell our own stories, man. I tell my kids that all the time. We experienced it on this trip that we were on, right?
Tell everybody a little bit about that trip, man.
Yeah, so last week took a group of high schoolers on a tour through Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina, through HBCUs and also through historical sites. Many of them are traumatic history for us all. Orangeburg Massacre, Bowling Alley, 3 black students are killed from South Carolina State. Wilmington, where there was a actual coup against the government in place, which was a lot of black folks, and displaced them out of the community. Community went from 6% back to 19% black because of federally government-backed coup. There's a PBS documentary on it. It's really good. Should watch it. Most people don't think about that with Wilmington, North Carolina. And so we wanted to immerse these students in history, man. Then we wound up in Charleston. I texted you about Charleston because it was the worst. We got a U.S. Customs house that bought in goods, which were slaves, that looks like a plantation right there off the water, and then slave auction blocks down the way. And we saw like a reenactment of colonial America during that time, since it's the 250th anniversary. And our students are really like struggling with that. Like, man, why are they over here celebrating a history when we got right down the street where they were checking our teeth and our feet as property? And so, man, those are things that stick with these students, man. And as we're shaping them, we have to tell those stories because they didn't. It was a small plaque over in the corner.
Yep.
On the big customs house, it's looking like a plantation over there. So it was a great trip, man, for us, for sure.
So it's funny, man, because my sons, my wife and I, and credit to my wife as well for planning some of our vacations around, stopping at some of these museums and other places. So we've been to Birmingham, right? We've been to Atlanta, we've been to DC, we've been to Memphis. I mean, so lots of these places. And so it's interesting that my sons, now that they're older, make the observations of things like the NFL Combine and what it feels like, right? Yeah. And some people would be like, "Well, that's not the same thing." Well, if you connect history together and you look at, like you just talked about those quarters where they're checking teeth and checking height and checking weight, checking strength. Like, what does that feel like?
What does that sound like, feel like, and look like? All these black bucks.
Yes, sir.
They called us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, this book had a lot of tension that it addressed, about freedom and you know, what that looks like. I think concluding this book on a weekend like this is very sobering. And I would invite everybody to go listen to or read. You'd have to listen to other people quoting it, but listen to or read Frederick Douglass's response to the 4th of July.
Yep. Yep. What's the 4th of July to the black person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, Pastor John, as we get ready to close out today, because you've been through law school. You actually, we have been to Mississippi, by the way. I see that comment in the chat.
Yeah. And my group has, the students have as well. So,
yeah. We went to Jackson, a few other cities, I think, in Mississippi. Even Mobile, Alabama, where they brought these slaves over, and
we went there too.
You know, there's a section of Mobile that's known as Black Mobile and the slave quarters. It was just, you know, very dynamic. But anyway, you've been through law school. You went through law school at the HBCU. What's your legal mind say? Reading a book like this, what does your legal mind say? What is your legal mind? How does your legal mind respond to this, to these facts, and to this history?
My legal mind says anytime you see a Supreme Court decision or anything that happens in the legislative legal space, the thing that you don't see is the social policy behind it. Like what you see is the legalese and the language, but what's underneath it is kind of the cultural policy behind it that you don't necessarily get in the decision. So when you're talking about major decisions that have happened across our country's history, even with them wrestling with this idea of slavery, like there are people on either sides of it. And as they're putting together the legislature, even with the words that they use, contraband, right? And then like working through what contraband means or property means. Man, those things tell me this: words matter. But also you have to look at the undercurrent of the cultural policy behind everything. So when you look at different acts that are happening around the country, here in Arkansas, we got the LEARNS Act. A lot of people love the LEARNS Act. Some people learn it, love it. Other people hate it because there's a policy underneath it that people are trying to help communicate to other people that school choice isn't always the best for everybody. As a matter of fact, they may be harmful in our culture and society. It sounds great on paper. The words sound great, but the undercurrent of it, that's de facto law versus de jure law. So de facto is here's what's on the books. De jure is here's the impact of what's on the books from a policy perspective. We learned about that early on.
Those are Latin words?
Yep. As a matter of fact, as a matter of practice. So de facto, de jure. Yeah.
I love it. When Juneteenth was happening, there was this thread of discussion and I think sentiment. So I've on purpose tried to cultivate a very diverse algorithm. And so there was this sentiment that I think online from some people that Juneteenth was sort of anti-American. And I think when you read a book like this, you actually realize that it's deeply American. Like it's forcing our country to live up to its own stated ideas, its own stated laws, its own stated experiment. Yeah. Right. And it's a call to action. And I think that Juneteenth, sitting alongside July 4th, forces America to think not just about food or music or concerts, but it forces America to think, who have we been and who are we now?
It's a very necessary juxtaposition.
Yes, sir.
And it allows us to make sure we lean into that tension. Tension isn't always a bad thing. It actually helps you to grow. Hello, Jim.
Yeah. I would even say this, bro. we are the Christian Leaders Book Club. And so I would offer to Christian leaders that are listening to this, or that may listen to this later, or that may read this book and journey with us. These things should not just be a footnote or just a happenstance as a part of your doctrine, as a part of your theology. I think when I read scripture, at least from the beginning of scripture to the end of the Bible, I see where a part of the nature of God is he cares very, very deeply about freedom. He cares very, very deeply about people and justice and people's humanity, the imago Dei of people. And I think scripture lays the foundation for the arc of justice bending the right way over time.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. I mean, that's the one place, and that's why I'm looking forward to reading Charlie's book in the fall.
Yeah,
I think that's a lot of the thing that's missing in a lot of justice work today is that component. And I like being able to fuse both, even in spaces where they're necessarily secular. I try to make sure I bring that component to it myself. And people learn to appreciate that and understand that I'm not trying to proselytize them or whatnot, but trying to ground it in the reality, because all truth and all justice, all righteousness comes from one source, bro. Yeah. And I cannot do this work apart from it, and I won't do this work apart from it, because I can't be detached from the one who created it all.
Yep. Somebody put a review on the Amazon of this book, Amazon link of this book, and I loved it. It said, the enslaved did not need America to invent freedom. They needed America to stop denying it.
Boy, that's good. That's good. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
So we're wrapping up, bro. What's next? What we got next?
Oh, you know what's next? We're going from Juneteenth to talking about the reality of America.
Yes, sir.
And so this next book was very intentional for us to pick this one, because it helps us to ground the Juneteenth conversation in a reality of what's going on in our culture, society today. So our next book is The Religion of American Greatness by Paul Miller. When you make American exceptionalism a religion, that sounds like it's going to be good. I hope that it is as we work through it. So we're going to be, and we got a date, amended date for August, correct?
For August, not for July.
Not July. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
so if you click the link, whatever platform you're watching this on, you can subscribe to our email list. That way you can stay plugged in and connected to us. Y'all make sure that you are connected to us, subscribe to our platforms and our email list, and that way you will stay informed. And we'll be glad to have you as a part of the Christian Leaders Book Club.
Absolutely.
So, Pastor John, enjoy the rest of your day, sir, and the rest of your weekend.
Yes, sir. You too, man. And I'm looking forward to hearing about the mass wedding that's happening this weekend. I know we didn't talk about this live on here, but I'm excited about what you all are doing around marriages at your church, man. Thank you for affirming the gift that marriage is. And also thank you and your wife for being examples of that gift.
Amen.
Yep. So
marriage is not for children.
That part.
All right, everybody. Have an
amazing
rest of your month. And we will see y'all at the end of the month as we get ready to talk about American greatness. It's going to be amazing. Bless you guys.